So I was scrolling through the source material for today, and I had to double check I was in the right place.
Hey, I know what you mean.
Usually we're parsing through, these dense academic abstracts or maybe a 50-page white paper. But today, we're
Right.
supposed to be looking at botanical data.
We are, yep. Specifically, a blog post from February 3rd, 2026.
Right. But the source, it's not a botany journal. It isn't a gardening magazine or anything like that. It's this personal site called qianmeng.org.
Mm-hmm.
And it's run by a guy named Eng, who calls himself, and this is the part that really made me just stop and stare, an old software plumber.
It's a great title, isn't it? It completely strips away all the glamour of like tech guru or software architect.
Yeah.
It focuses on the grit, fixing leaks, keeping the infrastructure running. It implies a very, very specific worldview.
It really does. But here's the thing that really got me. I'm looking at the sidebar of his site, just trying to get a read on this guy, Is he a gardener who codes or a coder who gardens? And the list of categories is it's relentless.
Oh, it's wild.
It's this incredible mix. You've got notes on Elixir, which is a back-end programming language,
Yeah.
sitting right next to notes on fish keeping.
Right next to it.
You have guitar next to artificial intelligence.
And beta spawn logs. You can't forget those.
Exactly. Beta spawn logs. And the post we're looking at, it's not, my top 5 gardening tips. We were looking at notes on gardening,
Right.
part 796.
796, yeah.
That number.
That number is the first key insight before we even look at the plant. It implies a longitudinal study. Most people, they garden by feel or by season. This author gardens by commit history.
A commit history for his garden.
He's treating his garden like a legacy code base that he has been maintaining for decades.
That is a staggering amount of documentation. It suggests he's not just dabbling, he's tracking data points.
Precisely. And that's the lens we need to wear for this deep dive. We're not just learning about a shrub, we are looking at how a systems thinker, someone who spends their entire life debugging complex logic, how they look at the beautiful chaos of the natural world.
It's the intersection of binary code and biological growth.
That's it.
Okay, so let's execute the program, so to speak.
Yeah.
Today's focus is entry 796. The subject is the red tree vine, or Leea guineensis.
A fascinating specimen for a plumber to evaluate.
And he starts this evaluation with it essentially looks like a bug report.
That's the perfect way to frame it. It really is. He opens by addressing a naming error in let's call it the user interface of nature.
He writes, despite its local common name, the red tree vine is actually an upright shrub rather than a climber.
Now, to a casual gardener, that might seem like a semantic quibble. Who cares? Vine, shrub, if it looks nice, it looks nice.
Right.
But to a software engineer, semantics are everything. Naming conventions matter.
Because if you mislabel something, you're going to misuse it.
Exactly. Think of it like a function in your code. If you label a function calculate, but it actually sends emails, you're going to break the entire system.
Okay, right.
So if you plant a vine expecting it to climb a trellis, and it turns out to be a shrub that just grows outward and stands on its own, well, you have a deployment failure right there in your garden.
So he's debugging the label. He's saying, user beware, the documentation is wrong, this object does not have the climb attribute.
Right, and once he strips away that incorrect label, he looks at what the plant actually does. What's its architecture?
He describes it as having an intricate pattern of branching. And I really like that phrasing because intricate implies logic. It implies there's a design.
And he immediately ties that architecture to a use case. Because of that intricate branching and the dense foliage it supports, he deduces it's an excellent candidate for border hedging.
See, that's the engineer's brain working right there. Form follows function. It's
Right.
not just, oh, that looks pretty. It's this architecture supports this specific security protocol.
It blocks sightlines. It creates a boundary.
It acts as a firewall.
A physical firewall, yes.
I love that. But it's not just a green wall, is it? He moves on to describing the flowers. And this is where the old plumber gets a little surprisingly poetic on us. I really did not expect this descriptive flair.
What does he see?
He says the plant features large clusters of tiny flowers that resemble exploding stars.
Exploding stars. That stopped me in my tracks, too. It's such a high-fidelity observation.
It's beautiful. It's this moment of, cosmic wonder right in the middle of a very technical assessment.
But look at why he likes it. It's about the contrast. You have the intricate pattern of the branches, which is all order, structure, logic.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have exploding stars, which is chaos, energy, expansion. He even notes that these red flowers beautifully complement the dense greenery.
So he's appreciating the UI design of the plant.
Hmm.
High contrast, good visibility.
Exactly. He's not just looking at the utility, he's looking at the aesthetics of the system. In software, we talk about elegant code, code that not only works, but is also clean and beautiful to look at. He sees this plant as elegant code.
Okay, so we've established the form factor. It's a shrub, it's a firewall, it has exploding stars.
Yeah.
Now we get to the part of the post that I'm calling the spec sheet.
The metrics.
The metrics. This is where the engineering mindset really, really takes over. He doesn't just say, it grows pretty fast or it gets tall. He gives us numbers.
And vague definitions are the enemy of good maintenance. He gives us the benchmarks. Growth rate, moderate, approximately 60 centimeters to 90 centimeters per year.
I want to pause on that for a second. Why is that specific range, 60 to 90 centimeters, so important to them? Why bother noting it with that precision?
Think about technical debt or maintenance overhead in a system. If you plant bamboo, for example, it can grow a meter in a week.
Whoa.
That's a runaway process. It consumes all your resources. You have to be out there cutting it back constantly just to keep the system stable.
It's like a memory leak in your code. It just eats up all the RAM until the server crashes.
Exactly. It's invasive. But then, on the other hand, if you plant something that only grows, say, 5 centimeters a year, that's latency.
You're waiting forever for the feature to ship?
You are. You plant a hedge for privacy, and 10 years later, it's still ankle high.
So 60 to 90 centimeters.
It's the Goldilocks zone. It's manageable. It pushes the growth regularly, so you see progress. But it doesn't break the build. It doesn't require emergency maintenance every weekend.
He also defines the target constraints. He notes the optimal height is 2 to 4 meters.
And the timeline reaches this height within 3 to 4 years.
That feels like a project roadmap.
It is. He's calculating the ROI. If I install this dependency today, I will have full production coverage, a 4-meter hedge, in 36 months.
It really is like reading a changelog or a release note. Feature, exploding starflowers. Performance, 67 air. Known issues, misleading name.
And this need for predictability, it's key for someone who maintains systems. Remember, he has 796 of these notes. This is a long-term project. He doesn't want surprises. He wants steady, documented progress.
Which brings us to the why of this post. Why is he writing about this specific plant on this specific day? The date is February 3rd, 2026.
And that's where we find the cultural context. He mentions that we are in the Chinese New Year period.
Right, and he has a bit of a critique here, a critique of the status quo.
He observes that during this period, there's a strong tendency to buy seasonal plants. And what's the defining feature of those plants?
Artificial red berries. Fake stuff, just plastic wired onto branches.
We've all seen them. They are the hot fix of the gardening world. You need red for the holiday. You need it to look festive right now. Okay, just wire some red plastic onto a green bush. It solves the immediate problem.
But Ang is basically saying that's bad code.
He sees it as inelegant. It's a hack. It looks good for the demo for the week of the holiday, but it degrades immediately. It's just garbage data entering the system.
So he proposes the red tree vine as a superior, sustainable alternative.
And notice that word superior. It's an objective value judgment for him.
He says, by choosing the red tree vine, we can enjoy genuine, delicate clusters of berries instead.
This connects right back to that idea of the software plumber. In software development, there's always this tension, right, between the quick fix, the spaghetti code you write just to ship a feature by a deadline, and the clean architecture that takes longer to build but lasts for years.
Oh, that is a great analogy. The seasonal plants with the fake berries, they're the spaghetti code.
They are.
They're the technical debt you buy at the store.
Precisely. And the red tree vine, that's the clean architecture. It takes 3 to 4 years to reach maturity. It requires patience. But once it's established, it is generative. You don't have to wire the berries on. The system produces the genuine, delicate clusters on its own, right on schedule, every single year.
It's an investment in infrastructure rather than a purchase of a disposable asset.
And it's genuine. He values the authenticity of the biology over the simulation of the plastic. It's about system integrity.
So he sold us on it. I mean, I'm listening to this and I'm thinking, I want exploding stars in my backyard. It's sustainable, it's beautiful, the specs are perfect, the growth rate is manageable. So we get to the end of the post, and he asks the ultimate question, the question every consumer asks after reading a rave review.
Should we acquire one for evaluation?
And I expected him to say, yes, go get it. I'm ordering seeds right now. But he doesn't.
No. His answer is, well, it's surprisingly complex, he writes. Not explicitly.
Not explicitly. That just stopped me cold. He just wrote this whole technical document on why this plant is perfect, and his conclusion is basically, no, I am not going to buy it.
Well, hang on, look at the condition he attaches. He says, not explicitly, but only if I came across one specimen.
Okay, help me understand this. Is he just being cheap?
Hmm.
Is he lazy?
Mm-hmm.
Why do all the research if you aren't going to execute the transaction?
I don't think it's laziness at all. I think this is the zen of the maintainer. This is a profound lesson in dependency management.
Dependency management. Okay,
Yeah.
Unpack that for us non-coders.
In software, every library, every plugin, every piece of third-party code you add to your project is a dependency. It solves a problem, yes, but it also creates an obligation. You have to update it. If it breaks, you have to fix it.
Right. It adds weight to the project.
Exactly. Now, apply that to a garden. Every single plant you bring home is a dependency. It needs water. It needs pruning. It needs fertilizer. It creates ticket volume in your life.
Ticket volume.
Even if the specs are great, even if it's low maintenance, it is still some maintenance.
So he's saying, I acknowledge this is a great solution, but I am not going to actively increase my ticket volume right now.
Correct. It's a rejection of the Amazon Prime impulse. We are trained to see a problem or just a cool thing, find a product, and buy it in seconds. We force objects into our lives. We just accumulate dependencies because the friction to get them is so low.
And Ang is taking a completely different approach. He's saying, wait.
He's trusting the algorithm of serendipity. He's saying, I know what I'm looking for. I have the specs in my head, but I'm not going to force the acquisition.
It's almost like he's waiting for the universe to open a pull request.
That's a brilliant way to see it. He's waiting for the opportunity cost to drop to zero. If he walks past a nursery and sees it, or if a neighbor offers him a cutting, if I come across a specimen, then, and only then, will he integrate it.
That is such a fascinating way to live, to be so rigorous in your analysis, but so relaxed in your acquisition. It's a balance I think a lot of us struggle with.
Oh, for sure.
We usually have the buy now impulse first, and the analysis comes later when we regret spending the money.
He's flipped the script. Deep analysis first. Zero pressure to acquire. It's actually a very liberating way to look at the world. It prevents feature creep in your own life.
Feature creep. Adding too many things until the system becomes unusable. I think my apartment is suffering from feature creep right now.
I think most of ours are. We fill our spaces with plastic berries because we want that quick fix, and we clutter our schedules with bamboo that grows too fast and just takes over our time. Ang is suggesting a red tree vine approach to life.
So let's zoom out a bit. We've got this post from 2026. We've got this character, Ang. We know he's writing about everything from, programming languages to fish spawning. What does this tell us about the act of keeping notes? Because his whole site is literally called Notes on Everything.
It suggests that for Ang, and maybe for anyone who adopts this mindset, there is no separation between technical life and natural life. The skills of observation, of debugging, of measuring performance, those aren't just for the computer screen.
Right. It's a universal toolkit.
When he looks at a fish tank, he's seeing a system. When he looks at a hedge, he's seeing a system. When he looks at code, he's seeing a system. And the act of writing these notes, 796 of them on gardening alone, is the act of processing the world.
It's not just documenting for others, is it?
No.
It really feels like he's documenting for himself to make sense of all the data.
Absolutely. The note is a way of thinking. You can't really understand the red tree vine until you write down that it looks like exploding stars and grows 90 centimeters a year. The writing is the mechanism of understanding.
And the fact that he does this publicly. I mean, the disclaimer on his site says, opinions expressed here are my own, but he's still putting it out there on the interweb, as he calls it.
It's the ethos of the open source community, isn't it? You share your knowledge, you share your bug fixes. Even if the bug fix is just, hey, don't call this a vine, it's a shrub. That's a contribution to the global knowledge base.
It's funny, we started this whole deep dive thinking we were talking about a plant, but I really feel like we're talking about a philosophy of attention.
That's often what happens when you look closely at someone's passion project. You see their worldview reflected right back at you. You see how they parse reality.
So just to recap for everyone listening who might be thinking about their own gardens or their own systems, we look at the red tree vine, Leea guineensis.
A misnamed upright shrub, not a climber, debugged and verified.
Visually characterized by exploding stars and high contrast foliage.
And functionally optimized for border hedging and privacy.
Performance metrics. grows 60 to 90 centimeters per year, reaching maturity in 3 to 4 years.
The Goldilocks zone of maintenance. Not too fast, not too slow.
And finally, it provides a sustainable, authentic alternative to the quick hack of plastic holiday decorations.
But the biggest takeaway isn't really the plant, it's the decision algorithm. That, not explicitly.
The power of waiting.
It forces you to ask, what are the things in my life that are plastic berries? What are the quick fixes I've bought because I didn't have the patience for the red tree vine to grow?
And conversely, what are the things you're frantically trying to acquire for evaluation when you should just be keeping your eyes open?
I think we could all benefit from being a little more like the old software plumber. Measure twice, cut once, and maybe don't buy the saw until you actually see the wood in front of you.
That is the challenge I want to leave you with today. We are all essentially gardeners of our own lives, or maybe we're software plumbers of our own habits.
Hopefully with fewer bugs.
One can hope. But really, think about Ang's approach. He has the knowledge, he has the notes, but he isn't forcing the outcome. Is there something in your life right now where you are pushing too hard to acquire the solution?
Maybe the better strategy is to document what you need, understand the specs, really understand them, and then just wait to come across a specimen.
And in the meantime, pay attention to the details. Look for the intricate patterns in the things that are already all around you. Look for the exploding stars in the border hedges you walk past every single day.
Because if an old software plumber can find cosmic wonder in a common shrub, chances are there is something fascinating hiding in plain sight for you too.
Thanks for diving deep with us today. Keep observing, keep documenting, and we'll see you on the next one.